Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. It's the wee hours of the morning. UFC 317 just came to a conclusion. Ilia Topuria just became the lightweight champion of the world, his second belt. He knocks out Charles Oliveira Cole with a big right hand, and it's just, dude Bronx went down like a sack of potatoes. That was all she wrote. Had him bludgeon with a little bit of a cut there in the middle of the fight. They have a scramble. You got a little leg lock, Oliveira. And then as they get back to the feet, the matador sticks the sword in the bull. And that was all she wrote. He's now got double gold. And look, I definitely think that the double champ has been watered down a little bit, but there was something about this kid stepping up. I was disappointed that Islam vamoosed up to the welterweight division. I get it. But that was the matchup that I wanted to see, especially with like the parallels of Volkanovski. So I was a little down on this matchup, as more so than others, even though nobody's ever going to disparage what Charles Oliveira has meant to the sport and how many monsters he's absolutely stopped and what his career has been, especially at 155 pounds. But man, what an absolute job by Ilia to get that win tonight, man. Just an absolute stone cold right hand in the pocket to get that one done. 227 on the knockout tonight for him to become the 155 champ, and seemingly setting up a fight with Paddy Pimblett for the championship. The direction, you see Sarukian in the crowd, you see Gaethje, and then they go to Paddy the Baddy. And out of all three of them, Paddy the Baddy ends up, because he's calling him out, Paddy the Baddy in the octagon. They have a stare down. The words get very vulgar between them. A little shovski from Topuria on Paddy the Baddy. And it would appear that we have our championship fight set up for, man, I would imagine either Madison Square Garden or in December for these two. And you got to feel a little bit for Sarukian for sure, but man, whatever the hell happened to him with that back injury when he was on the eve of getting his fight, I think that one's going to bite him in the ass a little bit. I really do. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of people pining for that, even though he, by resume, deserves it. You had Beneil Dariush win tonight. You had Charles Oliveira. He wins over him tonight, and Charles Oliveira was the man fighting for the belt. Okay. But you got Paddy the Baddy coming off of a big win down here in Miami over Michael Chandler, who, yes, is probably washed and a little bit, a lot a bit old. But it was still the most impressive win of his career, the biggest one to note, and he is riding high right now. Justin Gaethje gets the win over Fiziev. I know that he says he's either fighting for the title or he's retiring. Bull hunky, he's not going anywhere, and if that's the case, then he could wait around for another 6 months, because we've had a lot of guys waiting around a long time for fights. Go ask Tom Aspinall how long he's been waiting for the fight that he wants. And it just felt like tonight, there's been a lot of talk about, is the UFC up? Is the UFC down? Where's it at right now? And I definitely think that they needed a night like this. You know, the coolest thing in the sport, and one of my favorite things in the sport, are these historic championship performances, but that also set up things you're very, very excited about. And Paddy Pimblett, a lot of doubters, a lot of haters, shut up a lot of people with that Michael Chandler performance. Ilia Topuria, any skeptic that was left, he shut the lights out on that, just like he shut the lights out on Charles Oliveira tonight. Dude, the UFC had a tough week with John Jones officially retiring. They lose the Tom Aspinall fight. There's no heavyweight contenders that has anybody excited for Tom Aspinall. But like a gift, they had this one drop into their lap. And I just think that that's the way that they got to go. I don't know what day I'm out sitting around for. It's 1:12 in the AM here in the East Coast. So I'm not waiting around for whatever Dana White's going to say about it. But look, man, I just can't imagine the UFC passing up on a fight like that. I just feel like you want to talk about what just sets up their winter fight to close this thing out. It's that right there. And look, Ilia is calling his shots. You kind of got to ride the wave. They haven't had anybody. I know everybody likes to throw the Conor thing around, but the predictions, the fulfilling of legacy, and doing it with the style and sizzle that he does in his fights, you kind of just got to ride the rivalries as they go, right? And Islam skedaddled up to 170. You get this one. And so is Paddy Pimblett the most deserving? Yeah, probably not. But honestly, dude, how many times have we seen people get a bump up quicker because it's just the more entertaining fight? And it's one that's going to get a little bit of buzz and juice going. I don't got a problem with it. I'll be happy with it. I hope that's the way they go. I think it's the way they will go. It seems to make sense. Sarukian, he's got the momentum. As much as he's got the resume, he's got the momentum of a wet fart right now because he bowed out of his title fight with the injury. It was unfortunate, but I don't think it sat well with a lot of people. Otherwise, he would have been fighting this fight tonight. I think that already speaks volumes about where he's at right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has to probably fight on that card to get a title shot. I mean, he could wait it out if he wants to, but, we're now talking over a year since he's stepped in. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the route he's going to have to go. Gaethje, he's more of an OG. I wouldn't say that Gaethje has to fight one more time. Like, if he really wants to sit there and he wants to say, hey, it's title shot or bust for me, like, he's done so much in the sport that you give it a little bit more of an opportunity for him to wait it out. I don't think you force him into a title fight. I think eventually, like, you're talking about probably the two heaviest hitters in that division, and especially, who knows what happens if Dustin Poirier starches Max Holloway. We can set up for a big time matchup there too if he's truly going to retire. But if Dustin is gone, then you could have the Gaethje fight, hardest punchers, most violent hitters in that way. But I gotta tell you, man, like this, even tonight, Ilia just is so smooth with everything. It's very, very exciting to see. And the other thing that was exciting about tonight is that it wasn't just him. The whole night just had a big buzz to it. It really was just a home run top three fights. There were some other ones. I mean, like even the first heavyweight fight of the night with Denise and man, that was a great bout. And then you had the highlight reel knockout by RoboCop on Hermanson. I hope Hermanson's okay. Great performance from Cortez. A monster submission by Terrence McKinney early on. Like the whole night was buzzing. You had a couple of very competitive. You had a good performance by Peyton Talbot. Nice, another young star able to bounce back tonight. Beneil Dariush hasn't been in the octagon in 2 years. Finally gets to settle the score with my boy Money Moicano. Moicano basically had that right hand. That was about it to win a round. And then Beneil looked really, really sharp. But then the flyweights, dude. Oh my God, did they look good. Joshua Van. Whew. I mean, him and Brandon Royval, what a friggin' fight between these two. Because Royval, it basically looked like Big Brother versus Little Brother as far as size discrepancy. But Van is so damn fast. The way he's able to dart in and out in the pocket to nail his shots, and those hands, like firecrackers, dude. The way they're able to go in and out. He looks so friggin' good. And to do what he's done, to win now 2 pay-per-view fights in the friggin' span of less than a month. You win in March, you win in June on June 7th, and then you win again June 28th. Fans love that, dude. When you're fighting all the time and you're in there all the time and your name is remembered and you're not waiting around, man, that goes away. What is this? Oh, Jake Paul beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I watched a little of that fight. That fight was crap. I watched that was like between the co-main and the main while they were doing the ring walks, and Cesar Chavez wasn't thrown, but I don't know what happened in the last like 3 rounds. But dude, like, you're Jake Paul. Like, don't fight Julio Cesar. I know that was not his first choice. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, which is a freak show. That's what he should do. Julio Cesar, like, does anybody have less to think about what a legend his father is? Does anybody have like less good will with boxing fans than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? I was like, that's who you're fighting? This is no shade on Jake Paul. I was just like, who cares about this tonight? And it kind of went in that fashion. I know, like, before I got on it, they're like, he wins the round. I'm like, cool, very nice for him. Happy that happened, but whatever. But anyway, Joshua Van looked absolutely sensational, and it was great because, like, look, Royval been pretty much at the top of that division, and so you beat him. Like, he was number one ranked, but he's also just been in that vicinity now for a while. You got to be like, all right, if he beats him, like, what else is there? And he called it out. He goes, look, he tells Rogan, he's like, give me the winner tonight. Let me face off with him. And we had Kai Kara-France against Alexandre Pantoja. Dude, it was an ass kicking. Pantoja, man. Whew. Look, this is pretty much a division this is pretty much a division that's untouchable as far as GOAT status is concerned. And it probably still is. And I don't know what beating a young Joshua Van is going to do for that. But let me tell you something, man. You get these guys every once in a while, and you're like, maybe that guy can challenge the legacy, right? Kamaru Usman did this a little bit with George St. Pierre, where it was like, hey, I don't think anybody's GSP, but maybe this guy will do. And then unfortunately he suffered one of the most crushing losses in a championship of all time. Like, literally could have knelt on the ball and gets head kicked and not GSP. And I don't think anybody can beat Demetrius Johnson in the flyweight division. I don't think so. But Pantoja, the way that he's getting better every single time he steps in there, it makes you think, like, maybe this guy can do it. Now, he's 35. And that is always a danger zone when it comes. And so this young killer in Joshua Van, maybe he puts his lights out and that's it. But this guy is like, he's so good on the ground, and Van's going to be tested with every skill that he has. And you're just like, you're talking about just having a rocket put to your back immediately. And so it's either going to be like, hey, Joshua Van's going to either become a superstar, like, right off the bat. This guy has gone bang, bang, bang to this. Because I would put this on the Topuria card again. Like, whatever the next two, put this co-main event. It was a slam dunk today. They are all lined up with each other. Paddy fought 2 months ago in Miami. Had this thing all set for the end of the. You have your two championship fights, and whatever one it's not, then you make Kayla and Amanda the other pay-per-view. You make that the main event for that one. But dude, tonight was. It was so on fire. What a night. What a night for the UFC. I love nights like this. Buzzing to be a fight fan. Shit was awesome. And really, really enjoyed it. And again, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying Pantoja's Mighty Mouse. He's got a long way to go, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be doing this. I'm just saying the way he's getting better every single time, he looks so much more. Because I think if you look at the resumes of who they've fought, I think I'd be like, nah. And I haven't even like done the deep dive on it. I would be like, let me compare guy for guy that they've taken on. I don't even really want to do that. I'm just like, sheesh. This dude is like, he's just by skill looking so impressive. And it just kind of reminded you, like, when people were getting on Mighty Mouse about, and it'd be like, oh, you don't think that was impressive? Well, watch me TKO Henry Cejudo. Oh, you think that was impressive? Watch me armbar William Hayes at the buzzer, dude. Like, let me just do stuff that just is like going to blow your mind. And that's what Pantoja's doing. He's just looking so impressive in not only the wins, but the way that he wins. So that's a cool thing to see. But I think it was appropriate. Like, they were saying, one of the best. One of the best. I don't know if you're ever going to be the best of this weight class, Pantoja, but damn it, dude. You finally, it looks like somebody's like, after the whole Moreno Figueiredo quadrilogy, it looks like somebody's carrying the torch of this weight class in a really, really entertaining way. Unless Joshua Van takes that crown, dude. What a night, man. What a night between Topuria, between Pantoja, between Van, between the Pimblett showdown. This fight night was Goosey's galore, dude.